Hey there. So following on from the previous video, we're going to now go and have a look at how we can promote your blog posts or articles using the same RSS feed with Zapier and send them out directly with your email platform. In this case, we're going to look at Mailchimp, but the similar kind of logic can be used for other email platforms as well. So every time there's a new article published on your website, it will automatically be generated into an email that can be sent out and promoted to your audience as well. So let's jump in to this workflow we're going to set up today using Zapier. And we're going to set the purpose of this Zap is to create a promotion to your email marketing audience that you have in Mailchimp to promote the fact that you've got a new blog post that you've just published, and or it might be an article or a blog post that's come up on your website, and you want to get the word out there through your email newsletter list. And so it's pretty straightforward. It's a little bit trickier than the one we've recently done for social media. So if you have a look at that, if you haven't yet checked out that video, check out those. We did one video which covers setting it up for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, so that you'll get an automatic, your followers will get an automatic notification of that post, a promotion for when they're following you on those social channels, and that'll automatically go out when you publish the new blog post. And we're still using the free level of Zapier. So all of these Zaps that we're creating are only two-step Zaps, which makes it a little bit trickier, but at least you don't have to pay anything. So it keeps it low cost compared to paying for other sort of tools and platforms. So in other videos later, we're going to go through sort of the paid and what you can do with the starter and other levels in Zapier. But for the first few videos, we're doing sort of the beginner level. We're focusing just on the two-step Zaps at this free level. So let's jump in to this one. And so let's go to My Zaps to begin with. And we're actually going to set up two Zaps for this. Because we can't do it all, we can only do two steps. We need to break this into two Zaps, each with two steps. Otherwise, we would set up a 3-step or 4-step Zap, but for that, we would need to pay for the high level. So for these videos, we're limiting it just to the 2-step Zap. So we'll go to this folder we created before, Article Promotion, and you can see the 3 that we created previously. And we're going to start a new Zap. We'll start from scratch. And we're going to set up the RSS feed, which is how we get the data or the information from the blog post that's just been published, and we pull it into the Zap. And I previously went through this in another video, and in the other one that I did for the social media. So if you want, if you've already seen this and you know what you're doing with the setting up the RSS feed, then jump ahead. I think probably a couple more minutes from now. Otherwise, watch now, and you'll get a refresher. So the first thing is we're going to set up the RSS feed, RSS by Zapier. There it is. And the RSS feed is an automatic feed on your website or your blog, which has the latest articles. Every time they get published, it'll update this feed and it'll then send a notification out. The feed is normally available. I've set up a test site on wix.com, and this is just some interesting different sort of random articles that I've stolen from other parts of the internet, as an example. And then Wix has their RSS feed here. It's basically the URL for your website and then /blog-feed.xml. However, every website is slightly different. Every platform has a different model. You can see the link here. And so you'll need to Google it for the platform you're using, if it's WordPress or if it's another platform you've got set up, but hopefully it has an RSS feed. So then we grab this, we go back to the Zap, and we can set up new item in RSS feed. We'll click continue. And then we need the feed URL. So jump back to that page there. So the feed URL, it's here. And it would also be in the address bar of the browser. We paste that in there. We don't need a username or a password because this RSS feed is outside of any security or privacy settings. So it's available for anyone to access. So there's no login to see that. And then we just set this trigger. We just leave that as the recommended choice there. And then we click continue. And then to test, we need to test the connection, and let's get an example of the content. Let's check that worked. Testing complete, yes. And then in Zapier, it's pulled in some recent examples that we can then use for setting up the rest of the Zap. So you can see here the latest article that's been published on that blog. So that's great. And now we go to the next step. So this step is the Mailchimp step. So let's add in Mailchimp here. There we go. And then we're going to create. First, start by creating a campaign. And then in the second Zap, we're going to set up in a sec. That's going to then send the campaign. But let's start by creating the campaign. We'll sign into Mailchimp. Okay, I've got my details already saved here. We'll log in there. Done, easy. Okay, great. Click connect. And now we're going to set up for the campaign. So this campaign, in this example, we're going to keep it pretty simple, but essentially it's going to send the details for the latest updated blog post. So we'll just call the campaign latest blog post promo. And we can also add the date. Let's add the publishing date here. Okay. Audience, we'll set it to always go to this audience, which is just a test audience I have set up with just my email address, but in your case, you will have your audience of your subscribers there. And then you've got the email subject. So we want the subject to be new article, but I think you can be a bit more creative with your subject line. Maybe it can be check out our latest article, like that. Or perhaps we'll move this down instead, and we'll put this in the text. And we'll start the article, the name, it can just be the subject can just be the name of the article. We'll skip the preview text, but you can always add in preview text there. From name, we'll just go with this one. Do the same here. No to name, and then the email content. Check out our latest article and let us know your thoughts. And then we're going to have the title of the article. We can do some very simple HTML here. So I'm going to just bold this for the title. And then we're going to add in a little bit more information. So we want to include a link. So we're going to do some very simple HTML as well around the link here. So we'll go href, we're going to have the link, and then we'll close the link A. There we go. And then we just add in the link into there. So that will then create. Thanks for everything. Okay. So then we create the campaign. Let's send the test now. Let's hope it works. Yes, great. So let's jump in over to Mailchimp now. So I've logged into my Mailchimp account here, and I can just double check that there's been a campaign that's been created. There we go. Here it is. Latest blog post promo, the date, it's a draft. Okay, we'll resolve this issue. Okay, we're going to change this just for the sake of ease of this example. So just going to grab the email address here. Okay, so we're going to jump back in here. I'm just going to change this email address here. So this will be sending from the Mailchimp account email address that I've already set up, rather than my other email address, and that way it will work perfectly with Mailchimp to begin. Okay, so we send the test. Okay, let's go to Mailchimp now, and we'll look at the campaign. Here it is, just come through. So let's check that out. It looks like everything's okay. Let's have a quick look. So this to information, from information, the subject line, the content. Let's have a quick look at this content. Check out latest article. Great. See, it's all on one line here. So you want to format this in a nicer way. So we can actually go into this formatting here. And we need to add in some HTML formatting. So let's add in some line breaks. There we go. Okay, and then we can see the email has come through. So let's go into that. Everything is here. We'll have a look at the content. Very simple. Check out our latest article and let us know your thoughts. There you go. So you can add in any additional, if you wanted to have some more HTML formatting, you could add that into the Zap as well. Or like, let's say an image or something like that. But this is a very simple example today. So we'll leave that there. We'll go finish later. And then we created this first Zap. And then there's a second Zap. So this one is so that we create the campaign in Mailchimp, because we can't create and send in one Zap if we only have a two-step Zap. So we turn that one on. We've got to make sure we change the name. So I'm going to use the same naming convention as these other ones we created before, so that we keep things similar. So promote new article with Mailchimp. Create. Okay, so that's done. And then we're going to then set up a second. I'll copy that. Set up another Zap, which is going to go Mailchimp, sending the Mailchimp email. So when we're going to say when the trigger is when a new campaign is created, like so. We say in this account, when there's a new campaign created for our standard audience, we'll say saved. Let's have a look. Get Zap to pull, and we're going to change this name to send. Okay. So let's see, did it pull some information? Saved. Why do you need marketing automation? Yes, there is our example. So that's ready. Then we want it to go Mailchimp, and then we want it to send campaign. And you have to keep in mind that when it sends the campaign, this will go to the entire audience you have for that list that you've set it up to send. So you've got to please keep that in mind, because everyone will get this email. So you've got to make sure that it has the content you want it to be sending. So we choose the account, which is that terrific test email. We go continue, and then we're going to send the campaign. We actually want to set up custom value, because we want to tell it that it's got to find the latest campaign here. So we'll just grab this, and we just go here. So it's from the first stage, and we just have to find that ID there. So then it will automatically look, the latest campaign that was created here and saved will then automatically be added in here. If you select the drop-down, then it will only send to this one every time. You want it to be dynamic and adjust to each new campaign in the first line. So we set it up like that, and then we go continue, and let's send test. Great, and then let's check if that's sent out. So we'll go back to Mailchimp. This was before, it said draft. Let's refresh the screen. And now it says sent. Let's see, did it send? Who did it send to? Let's look at our quick report. There we go, one recipient, and it's been sent to my other email address, to this email address. Great. Okay, and there we go. Let's jump into the email account. Here it is. Why do you need marketing automation? And there's the link. Perfect. So there it is. And we can turn on that Zap as well. And there we go. Let's go back into Zapier. And we now have these two Zaps that have been set up for Mailchimp. So to create an article, to create a campaign, and then to promote and to send out that campaign. And then we're all done. So I hope that's been useful for you. Stay tuned and follow on for our next video, or check out our other videos on YouTube for Zapier. And don't forget to subscribe, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.